Trade like the pros. Learn the tricks of the ultra wealthy. Trade options and beat the street. Blah, blah, blah. There's a whole bunch of noise out there. So today we'll help you sort through some of the more common misleading ads. Let's jump in.
It's time for the My Retirement Clarity Podcast with Lee Perkins, financial planner and president of J.L. Perkins Wealth Management. Get ready for a good dose of inspiration, simplicity, implementation, and of course, clarity on how to successfully prepare for retirement and grow and preserve your wealth. Here's Ben George with Lee Perkins.
Welcome into My Retirement Clarity, Lee Perkins. I'm Ben George, and I'm looking forward to this one, Lee. This is a good one. I love the blah, blah, blah in the intro because it's true. It kind of becomes that way with the messaging we receive just constantly. And it's not just financial ads, it's all the ads, but it's just constant messaging coming our way that it's almost impossible to sort through it.
Yeah, it really is. And one of the things, from an advertising standpoint, because we're in election season, I almost want to hear these misleading money ads over the political ads right now because we record this on towards the end of September, so we got over a month to go till elections, month and a half to go, and I'm so tired of it. So I almost want to hear these crazy money ads that we hear all the time. So yeah, it's crazy. They prey on our emotions, and they're usually trying to sell something.
They are indeed. So we're going to talk about that sneaky money marketing today on the show. Have you ever taken a closer look at these messages? That's what we want to unpack today. Some of these headlines, some of these ads, and really understand kind of what emotions they're trying to elicit out of these. And then really, maybe more importantly, let's figure out what companies are trying to sell us. So we went through actually and kind of looked through some ads and kept track of some of the various financial planning, investment, retirement ads that we came across, and we've got jotted down some of that messaging here today, and we're going to have Lee kind of explain it for us a little bit and kind of what you should look out for when you hear this stuff. So should be a good show. As always, I'll remind you can always schedule a meeting with Lee. Just go to talkwithlee.com. It is that easy. Talkwithlee.com is the best place to get on his calendar. Very simple, and then you can start that process with him. So any questions you have, you can always follow up right there. All right, Lee. I want to start with invest like the 1%. It seems like right now that 1% gets thrown around a lot in different scenarios, right? We talk about the people that are at the very, very top. But what exactly do advertisers mean when they say invest like the 1%?
Well, this message is a sexy message, and so it's really tempting for us to click on the ad and watch the video or whatever. What they're doing here, these ads are really just trying to make us think that the one percenters, these ultra elite wealthy people, are doing something that we don't know about. But the problem is we all have access to the same stuff that these people have access to. The reason that they are the one percenters is not because they've got access to some kind of secret investment that we don't know about. It's simply because they've got more money than we do. And when you think about it and do the research on all of this, there's a lot of people listening to this show that are one percenters and they don't even know it. It really doesn't take, you don't have to be ultra wealthy to be a one percenter, but that's what intrigues us. And because there's always somebody out there that makes more money than us. So they put a fancy sports car on the ad to make us think, man, that would be awesome if I had that. So, what these advertisers are doing is they're using one of the most used tools in the advertising toolbox, which is wealth envy. Our politicians do it, and of course the marketers and the advertisers do it. So, they show us what these people do. They're on a big yacht, in an exotic location, and of course we turn green with envy, and we're like, man, if I could only do that. And then they pitch us the system or the secret sauce or whatever it is that they're selling. And we fall for it because these ads are very, very convincing, because we convince ourselves that, man, if I just had this one thing, I could be on a yacht too. I think E-Trade has done a pretty good marketing thing with their thing where they've got it's always a millennial out on a yacht somewhere with some scantily clad ladies bumping around, and the whole thing is basically you should make better decisions. And you could be like this clown that's on the yacht that's made
Yeah.
a bajillion dollars because he was doing some kind of trading on his own. So
Yeah.
it's crazy, but we fall victim to it all the time.
They also kind of make you think like there's almost a guaranteed way to do things and be successful too, right? Which we know, of course, that's not the case.
I see a lot of this stuff, Ben, and I'm like, how in the world do they get away with stating that? Because I would go to compliance jail. I always joke about that. I feel like I would go to compliance jail and lose my license if I put out some of the verbiage that they put out there. But I'm sure they've got very high paid attorneys that make sure they stay out of trouble.
Yeah. All right. So that's invest like the 1%. How about this one? Become a market master. You see that a lot, right? When people are trying to push, doing it on your own and how to become a successful investor on your own. It kind of ties into that invest like the 1% a little bit, but they use it a lot to promote these training classes and stuff. But we know do it yourself can be very troubling, but can you really become a market master?
Yeah, this one is sad for me because they're selling something that can work. Certainly anything can work, but the amount of people, the percentage of people that it actually works to the level that they are describing it as, it's tiny. It's so minuscule that, again, like I said earlier, I don't even know how they get away with putting out these ads. Now, there's usually some kind of disclaimer that tells you that the results that we're talking about here aren't typical. But you and I both know that people don't read that stuff. They're chasing a dream. They get lured by this temptation of beating Wall Street. And, I think people that buy into fall for this kind of stuff, these are many times, Ben, I think these are the people that got started a little bit later in life. They feel like they've got to play catch up. And so the get rich quick schemes are very tempting. They convince you that you can learn their trading system and beat the market. They can sell you some kind of proprietary thing that you can use and become like them. Sure, somebody can do it, but for the most part, it's not going to work. And they're there to take your money. And if they can really execute their system that the way they're talking, that the way they tell you they can do it, why would they sell you the system? They could just do it all on their own and make unlimited amount of money. And so why would you want to sell something and have to appease, 1,000 or 5,000 customers and deal with the people that it doesn't work out for? It just doesn't make sense. So just when you see these kind of ads, just step back from a little bit and say, hey, is this really legitimate? Is there a real chance that I can do this? And for these people that want you to buy their trading systems and all those kind of things, man, you got to be careful because they may want you to be tied to a computer, buying and selling and doing this and doing that all the time. And is that really what you want to do in retirement? I hadn't met a whole lot of people that want to be, when they retire, and move away from the computer. I haven't met a whole lot of people that want to sit in front of a computer all day, every day, doing this when they're retired. It's time to move on and do something else, in my opinion.
Yeah, no question. All right. We do see a lot of messaging about protecting your nest egg, especially I think right now with the volatility in the market. We hear, you want to secure your future, protect what you've built. And I think that's fine. And I think that's a good message, right? There's no bad intentions behind protecting yourself, but there's usually kind of an added meaning behind what they're trying to say, right?
Yeah. And this one is a little bit tricky for me because really, when you say secure your future, protect your nest egg. So it's a little bit tricky because of the words secure and protect. And these, of course, are not bad words at all, but most of the time these are used in conjunction with some type of safe money strategy, which means it's usually some type of insurance product. It can be an annuity. It can be some type of life insurance policy. You hear these commercials all the time. The bank on yourself crowd, the be your own bank, and I'll tell you this, Ben, these aren't terrible ideas. They can certainly be a useful part of an overall plan. And I'm a big fan of life insurance. But the problem is the people that market this stuff, they're marketing it as if it's a sort of a one-size-fits-all solution to every single financial problem that's out there. The truth is there's not a perfect investment. There is no one-size-fits-all solution. But if you run across a person who is only insurance licensed, especially one that works for a captive agency, I can tell you every single solution that they have to every problem or any problem that's out there is going to be some type of life insurance policy. And again, a life insurance policy can do a ton of different things. If it's a permanent policy, it can do a ton of different things, but it's very confusing and it's just not going to solve all of your earthly financial problems. So just be careful when you hear the secure, protect your nest egg thing. It's generally going to be some type of insurance related product like a policy or an annuity. And again, we can talk at length about annuities. We use some types of annuities here, and there's some types of annuities that I don't use. And they're not right for everybody. It has a fit in certain situations, but don't fall for this as a one size fits all solution.
Yeah, very good. Well, and I think quickly while we're thinking about protecting our future and just looking ahead to the future a little bit, a big part of that is going to be tax planning. I think when you really want to truly secure your future. So a good time to remind everyone about that ticking tax time bomb book offer.
Yeah, I think people get caught up in the, when you hear the secure your future, protect your nest egg, that's in the context of market volatility and you don't want to lose money. Well, what we do know is the market goes down, account values drop, but markets go back up and account values increase. But taxes are something I've always said it on the show, Ben, that taxes are one of the most challenging things that people will face in retirement and one of the biggest expenses. I'm of the opinion that taxes will increase in the future. That's why we did the book, Diffuse, 7 steps to diffuse the IRS ticking tax time bomb, how to protect your IRA and your 401k from increasing taxes. So it's a short book, easy read. If you want a copy of that, just text the word diffuse to 478-475-2050. We still have tons of folks who request a copy of this book every single week. And so, yeah, if you're out there listening, just text the word diffuse. Once you text it, you will get a link back to your phone, and then you will click on that link and then just give us a good contact information, mailing address with your name and email, and we'll send that to you.
All right, very good. Let's continue on some of this marketing messaging that comes our way. A little sneaky on the money side of things. How about the one that's really firing off a lot right now, and that's does the stock market have you worried, right? They really kind of prey in on our fears and worries about losing money, and they make it seem like the stock market is just all gambling, right?
Right, and it is a little bit, but it doesn't have to be. There can be levels to the gamble. So this whole stock market have you worried, that ad, I will tell you that I used almost that exact same verbiage in the client email that I sent out to my clients yesterday, and that's simply in light of where we are with the stock market and the volatility, especially with the recent interest rate increases. But I'm not doing that in the context with my clients of, oh, you got to totally do something different. I just want my clients to understand that, hey, if you are nervous about things, let's talk about your strategy. Because the last thing I want my clients to do in retirement is worry about their money. And so that's kind of what I pride myself in doing, is helping provide my clients with a little bit of long-term perspective. But again, this is a common strategy when it's used to market to prospects or whatever. They're just playing on their fears. I think right now, one of the ones that you can always count on in your advertising, especially on conservative talk radio and even TV shows, are these advertisers of physical gold. It seems like every other commercial, if it's not a political commercial, they're advertising for some type of gold account or some type of gold IRA. And I think they've got these commercials on standby, just waiting to hit the play button anytime the market goes down, because you don't really hear them when the market is going up, when there's normal increases in the market. So what they're doing is turning normal volatility into a reason to move your entire life savings into physical gold. And so again, just like the life insurance people that I just talked about earlier, the gold people sometimes will position this as a magical solution for every single thing or every problem, but it's not. I mean, it may sound attractive, especially when all the big named hosts for these shows, say that they're customers of these firms, that they protect them. I trust them to protect my wealth here. I'd love to be able to ask these people two things. How much gold do you really own as a percentage of your overall net worth? And then how much are they paying you to pitch the product? And I can tell you that with certainty that none of these people that are pushing gold on their radio shows or TV shows, none of these folks became wealthy because they bought gold. It has not happened.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's crazy.
Yeah.
The messaging you see is so consistent too during these times.
Right.
Especially if you watch during the day, Lee. That's when you really see it.
Exactly. And I've even had a few clients who fell for this, and one specifically, it's been 7 or 8 years ago, and bought some gold. And when he got ready to get rid of that stuff and try to sell it, you talk about a pain. Gosh, it was unbelievable, the amount of hoops and hurdles that he had to go to. And he paid a premium for these silver or these gold bullion coins, and paid a premium at the time, thought he was getting a deal. Well, when you go to sell them, they have to find a buyer. Well, he wound up losing money on that deal. So, yeah.
My goodness.
Hey there, sorry to interrupt the show, but I wanted to take just a quick second to tell you about our new e-newsletter called Uncommon Sense. Now, I know the last thing you probably want is another email from a financial firm giving you the same old industry jargon that every brokerage firm out there gives you. I get it. Nobody wants that stuff because it's boring. But our newsletter is anything but boring. Information plus entertainment is infotainment. And that's the goal. And that's what Uncommon Sense is. So we want to inform you in a very entertaining way, so you'll get stories of how financial planning works in the real world and not some corporate boardroom of a Wall Street firm. You'll also get access to a lot of other great resources, so just head on over to our website, www.myretirementclarity.com, and click on the Uncommon Sense logo. Just put in a good email address and you'll be good to go. Now, back to the show.
All right, how about this one? Income should never retire. Replace your paycheck for life. I know that this advertising really is keying in on income planning, right? And this verbiage, replace your paycheck. I know it kind of makes me think of annuities a lot, but what do you think of when you hear this messaging?
Yeah, this is it. This is simply marketing, and this one again is a little bit clever because I've made the statement before that without income, there's no retirement, and so that's what they're doing here. So they're going along the lines of, all right, well, you're retiring, your paycheck stops, so now we want to replace that paycheck with another paycheck for life. And what they're referring to here is some type of guaranteed income, and really this is nothing more than some type of an annuity. And again, there are a lot of different ways that annuities can be helpful, but just like everything, it's not appropriate for every single person out there. Annuities can also be really tough to understand because there's several different types and they can do a variety of different things. And I think this makes it very confusing for people, and people get things mixed up all the time. I'll have people come in and they may have an annuity and I hadn't seen a statement or anything. And I'm like, well, tell me a little bit about it. And they're like, well, I get a guaranteed 8% every year. And I'm like, tell me more about it. And they're like, yeah, my account goes up every year 8%. And that's simply not true. That might be an income value rolling up every year that an income value could be based upon, but their account value is not going up. So yeah, when you hear paycheck for life, it's going to be some type of lifetime payment or maybe an income rider with an annuity, but that's all it is. There's not a way to guaranteed replace your income in some type of guaranteed thing that is not an annuity. That just doesn't exist. So Be careful. That's going to be, you've probably run across an annuity salesperson if that's the only solution that they offer. Again, like I said earlier, we use annuities sometimes in conjunction with other things, but it's not the only solution, not by any stretch.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's all I have on my list, Lee. Is there anything else that you've seen or that's caught your eye, or anything else you'd add to this?
Just be careful. When I was kind of prepping for this show and I was looking for some of those the headlines, kind of the trade like the pros, learn the tricks of the ultra wealthy. I've seen all of those in my Facebook feed. And so I just scrolled through them again, and I clicked on them just so as an advisor, I could kind of hear the messaging. Mm-hmm. Well, once I clicked on one, a whole bunch of them started showing up on my feed. And so I kind of did it as an experiment just to kind of see. Facebook is smart. It knows exactly what you are looking for. I've looked for a bed cover for my truck recently. And so I did some research looking around there. All of a sudden it's showing up on my email, on my Yahoo email. Those ads are popping up. They're tracking us and they know what to put in front of us. So if you click on one of those, money ads, the trade like the pros or the tricks of the ultra wealthy, any of that, you're going to be continually bombarded until you ignore those things for a while. But that's what the internet does. They know what we're looking at.
Yeah, it's amazing the all the ads that you get served once you've looked at something. It's frustrating. All right. Well, look, if you have questions, again, talkwithlee.com is the best place to start. You can schedule a meeting right there. Get on his calendar today. Start talkwithlee.com. Got a question I want to run by you, Lee, to get your thoughts on this. It came in from Harold, who's in Atlanta. He says, I'm almost 60 and don't have any money in Roth IRAs. Should I be converting some IRA money to Roth for the next few years?
Thank you for writing in, Harold. I could say, I would probably guess that you haven't listened to the podcast too many times, because if you had, you would know that I'm a big fan of a Roth IRA. So I don't know your situation, don't know enough about it to tell you definitively that you should start, converting now, because I don't know what your income is. But I think you probably should. Some Roth is better than no Roth, because once you retire, and you may already be retired or you may not be, I want you to have a choice of where you pull your money from in the future. And if you want to pay taxes, you can pull money from the IRA. If you don't want to pay taxes, you can pull money from the Roth. So yeah, Harold, I'm a big fan of a Roth IRA.
Great question, Harold. We do appreciate that. If you have one for us, please send it in. Visit us online, myretirementclarity.com. All right, Lee, let's close out the show with a little bit of wisdom. This one from our man, John Wayne. Were you a John Wayne fan?
Yeah. Yep. You were? Saw many movies. Yeah. Many movies.
He was a great one. Here's what he said. Life is tough, but it's much tougher if you're stupid.
Yeah, this is a good one. This makes me, who's the comedian? Is it, who's the one that says you can't fix stupid? Is that Jeff Foxworthy?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that is. Yeah, you're right. If you go through life and you're stupid, it's going to be tough. You can compound bad decisions with other bad decisions. And, it's what I preach to my kids all the time. You're going to make mistakes and make bad decisions. Just don't compound it with another one, because you're not stupid. We've not raised you to be stupid. But yeah, John Wayne is on point right there. Great quote.
Pretty blunt, straight to the point, but it's also a good reminder too that also, hey, don't be afraid to ask for help, right? If you feel like, things are a challenge for you, so to speak, don't be afraid to lean on someone that's a professional to help you out with that. So
yep,
some good wisdom, Lee, to close out the show, and a good one again. That sneaky money marketing is out there. Be aware of what's coming your way and what emotions are being tapped into as you watch that. And again, if you have questions, lean on a financial professional like Lee Perkins over at JL Perkins Wealth Management, and you can always get on his calendar at talkwithlee.com. Lee, as always, enjoyed it.
Thanks, man.
We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening to My Retirement Clarity. Please subscribe. New episode coming your way next week. We'll talk to you then.
Lee Perkins here, and I want to thank you so much for tuning into the show today. If you like our podcast, we would be honored if you would share the show with others. And one great way to do that is by posting the show to your social media pages or by just telling others about it. Either way, we would really appreciate it. And of course, if you do enjoy the show, we would appreciate it if you would give us a 5-star review. And this certainly helps other people like you find our show. And if you want to learn a little more about our firm and how we help people have the best retirement they can possibly have, go check us out at www.myretirementclarity.com. There are a lot of great resources that you can access directly on the website. And of course, if you want to have a conversation with me, you can visit www.talkwithlee.com, and this will take you directly to my calendar. And there you can schedule a 15-minute phone call so I can learn a little bit more about your situation. Of course, everybody is not a great fit for our firm, but if I think we can add value and put you in a better situation, I'll let you know, and we can certainly talk about the next steps. So thanks again for tuning into the show, and we'll catch you next time.
Investment advisory services are offered by J.L. Perkins Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor and insurance agency. Information is for illustrative purposes only and does not constitute tax, legal, or investment advice. Always consult with a qualified tax, legal, or investment professional before taking any action.